Oh.
This is what I mean. Like, what other campground do you know has an orange 650S Spider just chilling right there?
That's
Literally
so cool.
just hard parked in the grass. This is how some people lived at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. I got the once-in-a-lifetime chance to experience this because I was invited by Cadillac Racing to spend a week out in France to learn about the race, to learn about their cars, and boy, was it a treat. We first landed in Paris, and when in Paris, had to get some shopping out of the way. Haley got all of her shopping done. You got the Louis and YSL combo in one. This is like buying 2 cars in one day. Oh, it just keeps going. This is awful. Then we took a shuttle over to the small medieval town of Le Mans. I'd been a passive follower of the 24 Hours race for years, so it was an honor just to be here in person as a spectator, but the experience that Cadillac had in store for us was way more than I ever could have anticipated. Good morning from the 24 Hours of Le Mans. We are here with Team Cadillac, and I'm going to run you through an experience 24 hours in the life of the 24 Hours of Le Mans here with Cadillac. To start, this is our room. They've even given us a lovely sign with my name on it, and beyond that we have plenty of Cadillac goodies, including flasks, umbrella, little diary. They even got us a portable charger with charging cords and lovely French wine. This is the bathroom setup right over here. Everything is basically like portable. I mean, this whole room was just made for this event, so you'll see here, I mean, the extent of detail that they went to for the fact that this was all constructed within the last week is pretty insane. If we open our room door and come outside, this is essentially what the box looks like, and there's a lot of them. And what's really cool is that they are all named after various Cadillac cars. So we are in ATS VR, you have DPI VR, you have CT4 Blackwing, CT5V. I'll definitely take some of these. But this is our glamping, as you'd call it, our hospitalities here. And it really couldn't be any better than this, because we are essentially at what's called the Hippodrome, and we are actually right smack dab in the middle of the entire Le Mans circuit. So everything that we need is less than 5 minutes away, but at the same time, we're not intense. We have bathrooms all to ourselves and power and storage and all these luxuries. I frankly don't think there's any nicer way you can do the Le Mans experience. And so with that, I'm very spoiled that this is our first time here and we're getting treated to all of this. Now, even though our accommodations were conveniently situated walking distance from the track, we still had complimentary shuttles that took us from our cottages to the track itself every time, and you never knew what kind of rare exotic cars you might spot along the way. Our first stop was to the Cadillac pit garages for an exclusive close look at the race car in question. Alright, so explain to me, what even is the model that this is? What do you guys call this?
This is a Cadillac V Series.R, which is our LMDH regulation car built to race in the hypercar category here at Le Mans.
Gotcha. And so he says hypercar, and to the younger viewers watching, when you guys hear the word hypercar, you may think of street hypercars that are, you know, in the millions plus, made for the ultra wealthy and so on. This also, I'm sure, is in the millions plus, or close.
It's in the millions plus.
Okay, there you go. But it is also called hypercar, but for a whole different reason. It's a whole different type of car. Explain to me what exactly hypercar means in this racing league.
Yeah, the intent of the hypercar category is that it's sort of the race car analogous version of the street hypercars. It is hybrid, it's fast, it's the top level. Compared to previous prototype race cars, which it is, it's a little more of a street car. It's got more of a body to it. So it's the race car adaptation of a hypercar and the road car. It's hybrid, it's super fast, it's got a complete body. It's heavier than, say, an open wheel car, but it's a pure built race car. It doesn't have airbags, it doesn't have ABS, it doesn't have all the street car comforts that you would expect.
Yeah, what would you say are some of the most key differences that separates this from like the street hypercars out there? I mean, you have like the tires and...
Yeah, everything in the car is different to a version, but for sure the tires are different. They don't last near as long. There's no tread. They're not street legal. So the tires are probably the biggest difference. The engine as well is quite different. It's just built to make the power we need for the time we need. There's a lot less care about noise and vibration, so everything's louder, everything's rougher. It's not about the driver being comfortable. Yes, we need them comfortable enough to race.
Yeah.
But it's not about their ultimate comfort. So another would be the car. The whole car is carbon fiber, which some of the hypercars on the street more are, but absolutely everything, like the crumple zones and everything is carbon fiber.
I mean, I guess the better question honestly is what even is the same? Because I think so much actually is different. What would you say separates this car from all the other cars in its class?
The sound.
The sound?
The sound is absolutely the separating factor for our car. It sounds the best out there. I'm biased, but it
No, I'm with you.
And as far as a naturally aspirated V8's not super common in our class, so the sound is definitely unique.
And you guys built out, like, it's one of the largest displacement motors, right? For
Yep.
this thing?
The rules in our class restrict us to 5.5 liter, so we have a 5.5
okay.
liter V8.
Gotcha. You just maxed out size.
Yep, and it redlines at 8,800 RPM, so it's also a pretty high revving 5.5 liter.
What were the specific reasons on like leaving these fully exposed? Because I feel like you don't run into that as common.
Yeah, there's a rule based on an open air you have to have over the tires.
Okay.
So that's a regulation thing. It's for
okay.
cars when you spin them and it catches air or you go over a crest, it's to release air pressure so you don't flip the car.
Oh, taking innovation from previous Le Mans.
Yeah. Similarly, the big fin, there's rules that lead you to needing to have a decent sized fin for stability.
What's your most demanding constraint?
Yeah, the most demanding constraint changes based on what we're trying to do. The rules have a very tight aero window, so meeting that in the development time frame was critical. All the cars are supposed to be very controlled in aero and how we optimize that. Then once you get going, they have a set power curve we have to run to, and you want to run as close to that as possible to make as much power as they'll let you, so that's a constant one. And then the setup is something, every race car, the setup's critical. So it's balancing during development, probably the aero and making the power. Now it's optimizing those.
I noticed that they switch the seats when they switch to drivers. Is that just so it fits their body, or is there another reason for it?
Yeah, I'll show you in the inside how it works. The seat has a carbon shell, and then we have different inserts for the drivers. We have like a thriller, we have a seat, a base, and then a different one. So each of them are molded like right to them. It's got holes in the back there too, so you can see like the mesh. It's got air that flows through their back. But yeah, so it just fits each of them like perfect.
Is there a certain like height that couldn't fit into one of these?
We don't have a specific height ceiling. One of our drivers is just over 6 foot, I think. So you don't have to be like a horse jockey to fit.
Yeah.
It's not easier to fit once you get bigger.
Yeah.
So is this like tailored to the driver essentially?
Yeah, there's a few different ways to do it, but usually you just take like a plastic bag full of styrofoam beads and like put an epoxy in there. That's how you make the first one, and then they like sit in it and vacuum it and let it cure, and then you have the mold and we can scan it and then like machine new ones out of other types of two-part foam and stuff. But they basically just like mold themselves in the car and then make more inserts based on that.
That's so crazy.
After getting close and personal with the cars in the pit garages, we shuttled ourselves a couple corners down the track to Cadillac's main hospitality for their guests.
How you doing, guys?
Good. So this is what is known as Arena 24, and this is kind of the dining hospitality for us at Cadillac. So we have all the food that you could want, all catered out, plenty of tables over here. And then if we keep on going down towards the window, we have the actual course itself. Would you look at that? So there's the Ferris wheel, and there's a screen, and there's a Porsche bridge, but this is actually the end of the circuit. So you can see down there, that is where the main start and finish line is. And then this lounge is located right at the end. They go into the sharp bends right down there.
Now, there were still a couple experiences we were offered before the actual 24 Hours of Le Mans race started. One of which was an on-track e-bike tour with the racetrack entirely open for us to freely bike throughout it. This was a trip highlight for me as it is the closest experience I'll ever get to driving on the actual Le Mans course, and it was crazy to compare all my years of video gaming on this track to riding on it in the flesh. One thing you'll note when cycling on it instead of driving on it in an actual car car is that the track itself is going to feel a lot bigger than usual, and it definitely felt vast. We're biking down the Mulsanne Straight right now. After that, we made our way to the pit suite to prepare for the on-track grid walk. Where are we going right now?
The pit lounge.
The Cadillac pit lounge. Oh! Sorry, got a little distracted there. Got the Lambo team. And look at this view. Front and center at the grid. You have all the people slowly gathering in the stands. Right below us is where 3 Cadillacs will be rolling out. This is crazy. You actually get a very close view at all the people that have to weather up for the rain. One thing about Le Mans is that the weather here is very on and off throughout the entire race. There will be rain, downpour, then there'll be sun. And there will be rain and downpour simultaneously at the same time. Just rain is on one end of the track and then sun is on the other because the track is that huge. But there's definitely a lot of bipolar weather here, and kind of makes it difficult for everybody. Soon after, we got our headsets on and we headed out for the grid walk. Now, the grid walk is a unique chance to get close and personal with all of the cars along the race. However, the one thing that stands out about the grid walk is actually the people. There are so many of them. It was nearly impossible to see any of the cars that were laid out on the track with the crowds and crowds of people that were surrounding them. From there, we took an underground tunnel that took us underneath the racetrack and spat us out on the other side on the grandstands for a great viewing spot to watch the race start. We spent about an hour watching the early battles of the race, and shortly after made our way down to the pit garage to check in, see how the pit crew was doing. Soon enough, you realize that with these endurance races, once the cars spread apart from each other, there isn't exactly that all much to do. But with a little exploration, I was able to find us some meantime entertainment. So we're going to take a look at some of the camping sites here at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, because I have a weird feeling there are some cool cars next to some casual tents that you would never see at any other campsite. So just the combination of an exotic car plus just very rural camping always is something that fascinates me. So let's see what's in here. Look at that. R8 Spider right next to a tent.
They got the stickers and everything. That's something your group would do.
Right?
They're so cute.
They're branded. Aston Martin DBS. Right-hand drive, so probably from the UK, I'm guessing. Another Aston Martin. Newer Vantage. Look at the tent is like smaller than the car that's right next to it.
ST. Oh.
This is what I mean. Like, what other campground do you know has an orange 650S Spider just chilling right there?
That's
literally
so cool.
just hard parked in the grass.
The car is literally parked in an area that is worse than I even want to walk through. Just mud at this point. But yeah, McLaren 650. It's got a Ferrari looking logo, but it's actually a monkey that's hanging down. I don't really know what that's about. We got the dudes chilling with their Porsche. Frunk open, front space utilized.
E92 M3, 570, W205 C63, and Audi RS4 Avant.
I love this guy's sponsors of choice. He's got eggs, milk, bananas, bread. Full grocery list on the side. You don't have to bring the grocery list with you.
It's breakfast.
So after you roll up in your R8, these are your luxury restrooms. your La Douche. I think the concept here is so funny. Like there are literally Lamborghini Uruses that are parked in here.
They gotta go wait in line holding their shampoo and
absolute
their conditioner.
Peasantry. What is going on here? There's a whole grid. This is literally like a track grid right here. C63, Lotus Evora, freaking wide body. I don't know if that's a Scat Pack Challenger or something over there. GT4, and then absolutely slammed FD RX-7. Talk about how in the world do some of these cars park in the grass. This completely boggles my mind. I mean, I'm sure it's probably, yeah, it's probably on air ride. Or if he's static, we probably just offended him, but that's ridiculous. Aston Martin Vantage. There's a E46 M3. I don't know what friend group this is that collectively decided to like stack up this grid right here.
On all of us.
But these are all the track enthusiasts for sure. So one of the things I'm wondering is what powers all of this. And everything leads to this giant box. Everyone's got their crazy power plugins. Look at all the duct tape that is surrounding all these, but these are powering all of the caravans as they're situated out here. One of the questions I have is, how do some of these cars even get to the positions that they're in? Because like,
Hello.
look at that.
Come on.
AMG GTS. You have to do some serious off-roading to even get to your designated spot. That's crazy. You have a TVR and then an old Ferrari, looks like a 308 or 328. There is no like boomer or dad in the US that would own one of these and would think, you know what, I'm gonna take it camping. Like no one is that cool. Beautiful Brooklyn Gray M3 competition wagon. We do not get these in the States. We are getting the M5 wagon, I believe, but it's cool to see that people are putting them to good use with their practicality out here. A sea of tents with an E46 M3 in the middle of it. You just got the travel vans making it through, and then boom, Vantage. We have a nice fine fleet of some British automobiles. We got an Aston Martin Vantage. We have a Noble M400. This is crazy. They're literally just... I can't believe these are just lines.
I know, right? This is so cool.
Different flavor of cool out here. Mitsubishi Evo 6. See, this is perfect because it's a rally car and he's off in the grass. He doesn't have to worry about anything.
That just makes perfect.
He's just chilling. That's probably one of the peak enthusiast cars you can camp with.
What's the Ford? Is it in America?
Not that exact car, but kind of.
Like a Golf or something?
No, come here.
What the heck? I see Ford and RS. What is it?
It's a Focus RS. The older generations. I didn't even realize it was a two-door.
So cute. Dude.
Yeah, right?
Oh, that just takes me back.
Before we got them.
Nostalgia. I know, right?
Wait, this is casual 996 GT3. Would have never realized. The concept of all of this is just absolutely astonishing to me. You wouldn't find anything remotely interesting at any casual American campground or any festival campground because everyone is smart and logical and they will take their Toyota Tacoma instead of their E46 M3 because yes, that makes sense. Now, obviously it being a racing event, that kind of switches things up a little, creates a little bit of a bias of enthusiasts that's going to attend.
So cute. I'm taller than it.
I know. But I've attended other GT races in the States, and I swear the campgrounds still are not on this level. I just feel like there are way more petrol heads, as they would say out here, that are willing to do something spontaneous and ridiculous, like bring their sports car to their campground, as well as the fact that a lot more of these cars out here are going to be manual and of different flavors that I've not seen before. Like there's a lot of TVRs and then a lot of French cars that we simply do not have.
Eventually, the sun started to set and teams prepared themselves to battle into the night. Drivers were staying strong and you could tell that the cars were starting to get a lot more beaten up. However, for us spectators, we had a different perspective on this nightfall as we watched the track go from a serious daytime motoring event to a fun, lively nighttime festival.
This is crazy. Le Mans really knows how to get down when the sun goes down. Oh yeah. Dude, if we'll be up there for the fireworks, that'll be sick. Later!
All right, buddy. Hey, it's leaning back a bit. It's leaning back. It's leaning back a bit.
Ours actually might be tilting. We're going 2 on 1.
Who are they though?
Oh, you hear that?
Oh, I hear. Yo! That is so sick. The next day, we sadly woke up to Ferrari winning. Cadillac's best placement was 7th in the number 2 blue car, and my friends over at the Heart of Racing also unfortunately had a really rough accident in the morning, and thankfully the driver is okay, but it sadly completely knocked them out of the race. You can go to sleep with your team in the lead and winning strong, and you could wake up the following morning to terrible news. Now, even though the results may not have been in our favor, that's not to say that this trip was not memorable. Come on, Forrest, you got this. Catch one. The experience I was given here was something that I never could have anticipated, and I couldn't thank Cadillac enough for all of it. This trip only further increased my passions for endurance racing and GT racing, and if I don't make it to any future Le Mans races, I will definitely be tuning in every year from now on. The least that I could do with my experience here is share it with you guys and hope that maybe even this little video in itself could spark some more passions for you guys to tune into endurance racing, because even though it may not be as entertaining as F1 or drifting to some, there's something just purely addicting about watching the scale to which all of these main huge manufacturers compete at the pinnacle of their engineering limits to prove what a car can simply do under 24 hours of stress and agony, and to see not only who will win, but who will simply make it to the finish line after all of this. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and this will be JackUltraMotive signing this off.
It's kit low. Yeah, dude, the blue paint and the freaking height clearance being like this close to the ground. They got cooler RVs here than we even have.